Hey everybody. Hey there. Hey. Good afternoon if you're live. To all of our replay people, I heart you. I heart you, peekaboo. I heart each and every one of you as we give a moment for live people to join us right here in the middle of the day. The nerve of me to come on here in the middle of the day during my little break time. I got my big lights off. So helping me to just kind of, have my little flow. But the nerve of me to come on here in the middle of the day, but I'm sticking with my nerve because somebody said that my nerve is somebody else's necessity, and it's my necessity. This is a part of my spiritual practice, inspiration, to reflect personally, individually, and as it blesses me to then share it publicly with you. And so I heart each and every one of you. Welcome to the Midday Moment. If it's your first time joining us, I'm your host, Dr. Davina Jones, and it is my pleasure to share with you. The Midday Moment is the place where we expect great things. Not because we ignore the questions of our day, not because we ignore the challenges of our day. We expect great things because we recognize that we're fully human and fully divine. And in our fully human selves, we got stuffs. Come on. We got all sorts of stuffs and dramas and traumas in our fully human selves. Out of the heart flows the issues of life. We got a lot of issues. And yet in our fully divine selves, we have what it takes to respond to those issues. So the Midday Moment is designed to help you tap into your divine. And we're not by ourselves. We're part of a larger network called Kingdom. And so we invite you to scroll through our Facebook page so you can see our Kingdom menu, the daily download with Dr. Doctorpulley, prayer and praise with Elder Katrina Johnson Smith. You're invited to partake in those, all right? I'm expecting great things. Come on, y'all. I'm expecting great things. I'm expecting great things. Oh, I'm expecting great things. I'm expecting great things. And where are we expecting? In my life, yeah. I'm expecting great things in my home. Oh, I'm expecting great things all around me. I'm expecting great things. Eyes may not see, but I choose to believe. Eyes may not see, but I choose to believe. You may not see. Hey, Brenda, good to see you, dear one. I heart you. I choose to believe. I believe in great things. Hey, hey. All right, everybody, say thank you, theme song. Theme song says you are welcome. All right, so thank you, theme song. That is Priscilla Hilliard's Great Things or Great Things by Priscilla Hilliard. That's been our theme song for a time, y'all. So I'm going with the vote. We're gonna rock it on out. And as we go into 2023 and there's months ahead, perhaps we'll pick another one. But everybody says stay with that one, so I'm staying with it. So good to see each and every one of you. All right, let's jump on in. So we have been sharing. You get a chance to center in prayer with this reading if you are part of the daily download. And in Midday Moment, Monday through Thursday, we just take it a little deeper into the study. It's just that simple, based on the premise that in order to experience this version of our Christian faith that we call Kingdom, it is a metaphysical new thought practice. We say to you that it's simple. Sometimes people invite you in and it's easy for you to come into the faith, and then we make it so hard, so complex complex for you to experience the faith, but we make it simple because it's based on three foundations: to love God as the spirit of absolute good, to then learn to love yourself as a manifestation of the spirit of absolute good. You come from good, honey. You are good. I know we didn't always act like it, but you are. And three, to share that good, to share that love, yes, with everybody else. How you love God as the spirit of absolute good, how you learn to love yourself as a manifestation of the spirit of absolute good. It then determines how you live and interact with other people. You got a problem over there with the other people, it starts with you. And so the more you love you, yes, as an offspring of God, then your relationships have a better experience as well. And so we've been looking at different sections. We've been taking this chunk by chunk, bit by bit. And so we are yet on page 24. And as expressed earlier this morning, if you are members of the Daily Download or viewers, then you heard that today's focus is understanding the difference of where you are and who you are. Where you are is not who you are. Where you are is not who you are. And so Jones Jewel number one, my part of my testimony. I grew up for part of my life in we call it the Ponce de Leon projects. Okay. Now that I've taken a Spanish class, I know how to say Ponce de Leon. Okay. The Ponce de Leon housing projects. We grew up in the Ponce de Leon housing projects, as we say it, as from our childhood, right next to the College Hill projects. And they would say, I don't know, just a slim street or alley, I guess, separated the two projects, but the College Hill projects and the Ponce de Leon projects. And uh, uh, that's just it. That's where we grew up. And over time, I began to learn that just because there was a stigma attached to where I grew up, that did not define me. Where I grew up, where I am, where I was in location is not the fullness of my definition. At the same time, I embrace and accept that experience because it yet ministered to me. We lived there with my big mama, Arlie Baker. I'm named after her. My middle name is Arlene, Davina Arlene, and I was named after Arlie Baker, our big mama. And she raised us there. We went to school from there. Some of my grade school years, kindergarten, first grade, and second grade, they here in the Ponce de Leon or in Tampa, Florida, Ponce de Leon projects, 4808 Andre Court. That was her address. And a lot of people have judgments and perceptions about that. And a number of people grew up in environments, sometimes embarrassed about where they grew up and not, and sometimes don't share it. Don't say it, but I'm not ashamed of where I grew up. It's a testimony of where a lot of people lived there for generations, didn't make it out. Some of them still got generations of family members over there in the housing projects. They since tore down Ponce de Leon, but they rebuilt some, tore down Ponce de Leon and College Hill and rebuilt some other homes there. But they're low income and all of that. But I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed, Mr. Can anything good come out of Nazareth? Wasn't that the question? Can anything good come out of Nazareth? Who would have thought that something, who would have thought that our way shower would come, way shower. It appears that our way shower might have grown up in the projects too. Otherwise, why would the question be asked? What good can come out of Nazareth? And so I encourage you, don't be ashamed of where you came from. And if you're in the projects now, don't be ashamed. I had a PhD in that several years ago in Jacksonville, was a PhD and college professor, and moved out of that gated community. And moved in. You might as well call them the project, right next door to the projects. Man got shot not 2 doors. Let me be real. Next door on the front porch. I can look out my front porch and saw him down on the ground. And I did that because I was head over financially, trying to live a certain way and needed to take care of myself, needed to regroup financially and rebuild and start over and humbled myself. And I was able to be okay with that, knowing that where I was not who I was. My rent was $450. This is probably about 15, 20 years ago. Somewhere in there, 2010, maybe around 2010, I suppose. So yeah, 50, whatever. Anyway, you do the math. And $450. And after the man was killed, I moved to another apartment, $475 a month. And then I had another experience. Nobody got shot, but I had another experience. Somebody broke in while I was doing laundry or something, and my mother said, "You did good, child. It's time for you to go on and get up out them $400 apartments." And then I by then I had regrouped, had me a cash car. I had a cash car, and I was able to regroup and went on from there, and got a beautiful, nice townhome down the street from the college, and moved on. But I had those experiences processing that I am not where I am. Okay, so that's my Jones Jewel number one testimony. Oh, girl, honey, I have been through and seen. Jones Jewel number two. I also spent several years in what they call the ESC programs in school, exceptional student education. I was deemed a slow learner. Some of you have heard me tell the testimony. Had a speech impediment. I couldn't pronounce my S's and my R's. So I was saying, "Hey, my name is Davina Jones, and welcome to the Midday Moment. I'm so glad that you're with us today, and we're gonna have a good time inspiring each other." And there are individuals that still live a full, blessed life with what they call a lisp of some version of it. And so I was blessed to go to speech therapy, and my tongue still comes out on the side when I make my S sound, but they taught me how to pull my teeth together in the front so that I can make a S sound, and taught me how to say railroad instead of railroad. Okay, 2 years of speech therapy with that. But I was in the slow learners class until I got to high school, and folks, I got some accolades as most likely to succeed in business or something of that sort, and that was in part because of me being able to tap into my gift through church as an oratorical speaker. And so participated in Future Business Leaders of America, and did utilize, experience some more of my gift in public speaking competitions. But that ESC, even now when people tell me, PhD don't make you, I learned a long time ago that letters don't make me. PhD doesn't make me no more than ESC made me. If I was stuck on letters, I'd still be under the table about being in ESC. And it has taken me a journey. It's been a journey. It's been several years. I remember when I first started studying under Dr. Pulley and had the nerve. We were studying the book of Daniel. I never forget, it was a special November time of consecration, maybe back in 2019. And we were studying the book of Daniel. And I think one of the first journal exercises was reflecting on where you were, some of the thinking and thoughts that you were working through. And I mentioned how I was still battling with insecurities about my intellect and singing and so forth. Dr. Pulley said, he said, "Are you kidding me? You got the highest degree in the land. Take it off that wall and put it in your heart and know who you are." So it's been a journey. And so I encourage you in your journey about the thoughts you have regarding the places you've been or the places that you are in. Those are places, not definitions of who you are. In all of these situations, I have always been a beloved offspring of God. When people touched me who weren't supposed to touch me, I was still an offspring, a divine offspring of God, a beloved offspring of God, a unique, unrepeatable expression of God, a unique, unrepeatable expression of divinity. I've always been. I've grown in the consciousness of that and who I am. Now, I gave you two examples of places that people sometimes struggle accepting as a part of their experience and being able to say that's where I am, not who I am. My last Jones Jewel is a testimony about sometimes prominent places that we may be in, or have been, and just the same, whether you are in the palace, you have the privilege of serving as a president, it does not define you being in the president's office, you being in the castle, does not define who you are, just the same. And so, one of my dear colleagues, uh, beautiful soul. Actually, I've not seen them in a while, but beautiful soul, blessed business mind, and now able to use his business acumen legitimately. There was a time when he didn't use his business acumen legitimately and used to sell illegal prescriptions. And one of the slogans that they had in that street business was, "Never get high on your own supply." So even if you're living in the palace, even if you're living sitting in the president's office, that is not who you are. Just the same, do not get high on your own supply. Always remember that no matter where you are, yet and still, projects or the palace, in all of those settings, you are a beloved offspring of God. And recognize the opportunities that you have, even in the palace, from the projects to the palace, that you have been destined and placed there to show forth the glory and the love of God, even as you love yourself and you share this love with everybody else. Yeah? All right, y'all. Oh, my God, that blesses me. God, I thank you. I thank you and I give you glory, from the projects to programs in school, special programs like ESC. I give you glory, from the projects to programs to the palace. I give you glory, God. I yield and I submit to let my light shine so that men and women may be encouraged, to glorify God within and God all around. I give you glory. Give glory to God. I am thankful and I give glory to the Most High God. I love you all. Take care and blessings to you. I just had a moment, y'all. Take care. Have a wonderful, blessed, and productive day. I'm getting off my break
Powering
now.
off.
Thank you, beautiful. I'm getting off my break now and I'm going back to work. And I encourage you in this day. God bless you and God be you.